Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people who really care about what's true.
Yeah, it's weird. I've actually noticed throughout this week that it feels like on balance, the people on air are a little bit nicer than they were before this week. I feel like there is a little bit less active dishonesty in the media. There's just something about this week where briefly that felt true, but it's gone now, it's ruined. Tucker Carlson is back. Well, as back as he can be, when you bear in mind that he's not at Fox, obviously there, he's at one of his many studios that he has in his various mansions. And seeing him there doing a version of his monologue, I have to quote Andrew Lawrence, who's gonna be joining us on the show, says, imagine getting fired from your job and then dressing up like you're going to work and going to a recreation of your work and pretending like you didn't just get fired. That is 100% what he just did. Now, he showed up for a reason. He had a few points that he wanted to raise. We're gonna get to those in a second. But first, I haven't gotten Farron's take on Tucker getting fired and now sort of putting his toe back in the news waters. What do you think?
For somebody who's been on television for 20 plus years at this point, I would think Tucker would know a little bit more about, framing up and not being so close to the camera, because that's just, just aesthetically horrible shot, Tucker. You should know better. You've been in this business long enough. And it's really sad. Like, he didn't have to say anything. He could have just been like, hey, everybody, I've got big things coming in the future. It's gonna be awesome, super totally. But instead, just like, people are so nice to me. I've never stepped outside my comfort zone. Like, you just sound like a weird Dorothy arriving in Oz kind of moment there. And I'm not even sure what's happening, but sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. And I think Tucker should have taken that advice.
Yeah, and it's easy advice to take when you have so much money that you could not work a day in your life for the next 100 lives and be perfectly fine. But he did decide to come back. And look, I get it. A lot of people have been mocking him and delighting in the sorry state that he's in. One of those people notably is this guy. So I get why he would want to say something. When I inevitably get fired from TYT, I'm probably gonna put something out. And yes, it probably will be a little bit cringy and desperate. So prepare yourselves, everyone. I'm gonna need your support. But anyway, it's just the leading with everybody's so nice and so funny. I love it out here, actually. In the wilderness, it's not cold at all. That's the vibe that I got off of it. And when you combine that with those very carefully staged go-karting videos or pictures that he put out yesterday, where he's just like, yeah, look, dude, I think that the Tucker doth protest too much. I feel like he's probably feeling the pain. He just doesn't want us to know.
It's the meme of the crying face with the calm face over it. That's exactly what he's doing right now. And look, Tucker is super lucky. I mean, we all know that he loves Russia so much, but keep in mind, if this had been like Fox News Russia under Putin's control, he wouldn't have been fired. He would have, oh no, Tucker fell out a window. What do we do? So trust me, dude, things could be a lot worse if things were the way that you want them to be here. So you get to go ride your go-karts, you got your mansion, you can dress up in your little flannels and act like you're doing the woodworking, like you're Ron Swanson or something. But you don't, like John said, you don't have to do anything. Like if I were you, it'd be like, you know what? Oh no, I'm fired. I'm gonna go sit on a pile of money and sob. Like, just go away.
Yeah, I would do cash angels for like so long. But anyway, like I said, he did come back for a reason. So why don't we jump to this next video?
The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization.
Okay, so there's a lot going on there. First of all, you realize how stupid most of the discussion is. Like, do I need to run you through a list of some of the lowlights of Tucker Carlson's career? Did I need to know that people microwave their testicles? Okay, did I need to know which of the M&Ms he's most turned on by? He admits there that he participated in these stupid debates, but even that is a tactic. Let's be clear. He routinely does this. Criticize the media, and then to attempt to sort of win you over by appearing authentic, he then just throws away as an aside, oh yeah, no, I also totally did that whole time. Well, he did, but to be clear, the corrosive impact that he had on American political discourse wasn't at the end of the day about the M&Ms. It was about far more insidious stuff than that. To the extent that you're not allowed to have these discussions, and boy, does he love to say that you're not allowed to do the thing that he got paid tens of millions of dollars to do on a nightly basis for many years on Fox News, which I shouldn't have to remind you is financed by corporations and the ultra wealthy. It is corporate news every bit as much as CNN and MSNBC and all of the others. They love to pretend that that's not true. It is in that they are radicalizing people to be obsessed with cultural nonsense so that they don't realize that the people that Tucker Carlson goes out and has fancy dinners with every night are getting what they really want in the absence of news coverage, okay? That's what's really going on. Anyway, sorry, Farron, what do you think?
To me, well, first of all, you're right about all of that, 100% of it. But to me, that wasn't necessarily just Tucker, saying like, oh, I'm gonna trash, all of this stuff that I usually do. Anyway, it's almost to me looking like a campaign video. I mean, that's the kind of statement, whether it's like, I wanna run for office, but then he's going after both parties, and it's almost like we've got a one-party state. Are you about to join forces with Andrew Yang? I mean, what's going on here? There's always a motive for a guy like Tucker. So that's what we have to start questioning, right? What's behind this video? There's some motivation why he's coming out doing it. And I don't think it's only because of the, story that came out yesterday from the New York Times about all those redacted text messages. I think that played a role in the timing, but not the purpose of the message. So that's what hopefully we can flush out, coming days, weeks, months, whatever it is. There's a reason he's using these specific words. There's a reason he's framing the issue in this certain way. Now we just got to figure out what that reason is. What are his motivations? What's going to be his next move?
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.